Hello everyone, welcome to another award-winning edition of the Locker Room Chat. I'm John Williams and we are live here at the BBB TV 12 studios here in downtown beautiful Oak Ridge in the historic Grove Center. So thank you for tuning in. We welcome your calls or comments. Phone numbers are on the screen, so we have a good show here once again lined up, and our guest tonight we are pleased to have in studio the Oakdale head coach of the football program, Coach J.R. Voles, and one of his student athletes graduating in 2020, Brandon Bassler.
Thank you for having us.
Thank y'all for being here. Welcome to the chat. First off, Coach Voles, for myself and the staff here at BBB Communication, we just like to offer sincere condolences
I appreciate
for the passing of your mother last week.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I know she was 63 years old and just gone too soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Brandon as well. Been trying to get you guys in studio for the last couple of weeks, and I know your father was in the hospital. Had some knee surgery, you was telling me. So
yes.
Hope he's doing well.
He's coming along slowly but surely, getting a little better day by day.
Right, it takes a while to get over that a new knee replacement.
For sure.
Right. Coach Voles, if you would, just go ahead and talk about this young man right here, if you would, introduce him.
Brandon's been a player for me for 4 years. He came up actually as an 8th grader at the end of his middle school season, and didn't get to play a lot then, but was around the program even as an 8th grader, and good kid, good in the classroom, really good on the field, in the weight room, in the locker room, a really good leader. Other kids that he was self-motivated, and that it's paid off with this opportunity to play at the next level.
Right, Brandon, you're an offensive lineman. And
yes, sir.
6'2", 265, I believe, what I read.
Yes, sir.
And I'd like to congratulate you. I first saw it on the news a few weeks ago. I think WBIR ran a special on you. That's what made me want to get you in the studio. That you receive a scholarship offer to Maryville College.
Yes.
And you're the first Oakdale student athlete in football in 15 years to sign a football scholarship. So congratulations.
Thank you.
What does that mean to you?
Personally, it means that no matter where you come from, it shows with hard work, determination, and giving your all shows that you can go be whatever you want to be. And it's really honoring to be somewhat of a trailblazer for the past 15 years of not having college athletes coming out of my school. And I really like to be somebody people can look up to and say, I want to be like him, and I want to do the best I can to move forward and accomplish what I want.
Right, and it's very admirable. And also, I was reading about your graduation at Oakdale High School, that you were planning on having a big celebration, not so much for yourself, but for the kids in the community and
yes,
other people that have supported you.
Yes. We wanted to show more or less to the student body, not for my personal accomplishments, but to show to them, as I said, that through hard work, determination, no matter where you come from, doesn't really mean anything. It means that you're still your own person and you go do what you want. Nothing will hold you back.
So what are your plans still for, when is your graduation ceremony for Oakdale coming up?
The graduation will be June
Yeah, they're going to be in July, close
July.
towards the end of July. But they, just this past week, the last few days, they were able to do like a drive-through little parade there at the school. I know a lot of the schools in the area have been doing something similar to that, with the different things going on right now. Not being able to have an on-campus ceremony with a normal type of graduation, they were at least able to do that and receive their diploma, and it was really neat. It was something different, to be there and to be part of it. But I think the kids enjoyed it. It showed them that we ain't forgot about them. This class has been different as far as their senior year, so it was good for them to come together and see their classmates and kind of, have a little bit of a conclusion to their senior year.
Right. Now, Brandon, you say you've already received your diploma
Yes.
from Oakdale. You already had the ceremony.
Yes.
And you're going to have something later on in July for your signing.
I don't know if we'll do a signing, but they'll have the actual full graduation procedures, in July.
Well, that's great. You need to be recognized, and I'm sure you're the pride of Oakdale.
Along with several others, absolutely.
I'm not alone in this.
Right. Can't do it all by yourself, can you?
I've had tremendous support from Coach JR and other coaches I've had through my past 4 years, and my parents, and and the people I've been surrounded by have really given me a reason to give more than everything I have.
Did you grow up in Oakdale and play in the youth leagues?
Actually, I did grow up in Oakdale, but I didn't start playing until roughly halfway through my 7th grade season. And I started and eventually became something that I just fell in love with, and I got to high school, and I was like, if I had the opportunity, I will go next level with this.
It's a lot of hard work and dedication.
Yes, sir.
Coach Voles, talk a little bit about yourself. You was telling me off there, this past year was your 10th year as head coach at Oakdale. If you would, just talk about yourself, growing up and where you played ball at, and just your experience in coaching.
Grew up in Harriman, went to high school there, graduated from Harriman, played baseball and football in high school, and then went on and played baseball at the college level at Tennessee Wesleyan in Athens. Finished that and got married in 2004 and started getting around the Oakdale program. My wife went to Oakdale, and my father-in-law kind of got me involved in it to start with, and it's been a joy and a blessing to be part of that community. Have family that's from there originally, so getting involved in the community way back then, and started as a non-faculty assistant, and just was kind of helping the program however I could, from mowing the field to spraying weed killer around the fence lines, just any way I could help, and kind of had a bunch of transition go on there at Oakdale with different coaches. Kind of year after year we were going through coaches, and by that time I had been around the program for 5 years, and I approached the athletic director at the time and told him, look, I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't have any aspirations to coach anywhere else, but this program needed some stability, and I was offering to do that. Wasn't trying to be the head coach, but I knew that at the time they needed that, and that was 10 years ago, and actually transitioned over the last few years and finished my master's in EDS, and have now gone into the classroom and teaching, and it's been an absolute joy being in the classroom as a teacher. I wake up every day excited about it, enjoy going to the job, and getting around the kids. I tell my wife it keeps me young, being around the younger kids, because I am starting to get a little gray now, so they absolutely keep me feeling young, and being around them every day, more than just on the field, I really have enjoyed it, and wouldn't trade it for anywhere else. Oakdale's a special place. I know it's a small school and a lot of people may not have heard of it, and you have to kind of explain to a lot of folks where it's at, but it's an absolutely special place. The people there are different. They're a whole different breed, man. We protect each other, fight for each other in anything. So it's a great place to live, great place to raise a family, and the school's a solid school, and a lot of good things about Oakdale, and I really enjoy being there and being part of it.
Yes, sir. And yeah, I know what you mean. I work in the school system myself, and being around the kids, it does keep you younger, keep you updated on the latest fads, I guess.
Right.
Some things you've not heard of, and so what's that? But look at you like, well. Then you realize you're getting older, but it's great to work around kids.
Absolutely.
I echo that sentiment. And so, who was your coach at Harriman High School?
A man I really look up to is Gary Bailey. He was my head coach my last 3 years, and fantastic human being, fantastic man. Him and Miss Bailey had them both as school teachers, and then Coach Bailey with football as well. Two people that I look up to even to this day. Extremely blessed to have that relationship that I had with Coach Bailey and still have to this day. Fantastic man. And then Andy Adcox was my baseball coach, and he really was the one that kind of pushed me into you've really got a chance to play baseball at the next level. And two men that I absolutely look up to and think the world of. They were, an instrumental part of how I, progressed as a young man.
So you graduated high school in 2004?
2000.
Oh, 2000?
2000.
Okay. Harriman has a great tradition in all sports, football, basketball, and baseball. And I know growing up in Harriman, you probably played against Oakdale.
Yeah, we did. We would always scrimmage them and things like that. And I knew a lot of the guys. Harriman and Oakdale are right there beside each other, just a few miles apart. So I had a lot of friends that lived in Oakdale, and went to church with folks from Oakdale. And it's the two communities are really close to each other.
Mm-hmm. And Oakdale football program, I believe it's the smallest 1A school in the state.
And it's the smallest public school that plays football.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it's a special place, and we're glad y'all are here to talk about Oakdale. And right now we're going to take a break, and you're watching the Locker Room Chat with the head coach of the Oakdale Eagles football program, J.R. Voles, and graduating senior Maryville College signee Brandon Bassler. And we'll be right back.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-thru for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
At OEB, we know lives have changed. Parents have become teachers, and our homes are now our offices. The roads may seem empty, but people are still driving and still working. And when they get injured because someone else was careless, they know they can still depend on us. We are OEB Law, and the one thing that hasn't changed is our commitment to helping people right here at home. We're just a phone call away. 865-546-1111. OEB Law.
Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman knows safe and reliable transportation is essential right now. Whether you need service or to replace your current vehicle, we're ready to help. Our building is sanitized to keep our customers as safe as possible. Plus, we're offering pickup and delivery service during the crisis. Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman, Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Award for customer satisfaction. This month, all Outback, Forester, Ascent, Legacy, and Impreza models have available 0% financing with no payments for 90 days.
Tennessee Barns and Buildings in Jacksboro has all your storage building needs. At Tennessee Barns and Buildings, you can pick out your building, then custom design it how you want it, and then have it delivered. Our friendly staff will help you with all your design needs. Are you worried about financing? Well, at Tennessee Barns and Buildings, there's no credit check, so no one is turned down. Plus, you can rent to own your own building. Tennessee Barns and Buildings in Jacksboro says come on down for your next building. Or call 423-449-8139.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry, plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Chat. We're live here at the BBB TV 12 studios, and phone lines are open if you have a question or comment for Oakdale head football coach Voles or Brandon Bassler, here offensive lineman for the Eagles this past year, who will be attending Maryville College in the fall on a football scholarship. I know Maryville College it's a great school. I know several athletes that's gone there. It's not only sport-wise, but really educational-wise. It is really a top-notch college program. You'll get a great education there.
It was one of the things that really led me to that decision. When my final two schools were great for education, but after many hours of, many days of thought and prayer, it led me to go to Maryville.
What was the other schools recruiting you?
Carson Newman was heavily interested. Western Kentucky had stopped by.
Yeah.
Who else?
Austin P had some interest. There was some smaller NAIA level schools. Virginia Wise was interested, and it come down to Carson Newman and Maryville. That was the two that offered the best deal, the most scholarship dollars and things like that. And two great schools, both of them fantastic academic schools. He couldn't have made a bad choice with either one of them.
Right. And Brandon, what do you plan on majoring in at Maryville College?
Exercise science, actually. Looking to go in and get my bachelor's and go be a physical therapist, because outside of football, working out was something I eventually just found out that I like to do. And I learned more and more about it, and then learned about physical therapy, and I learned if it's something I like to do, and it's not really a job if you like to do it.
Exactly. That's great if you can do something that you enjoy doing. That is the key.
Yep. Absolutely.
What is, I read where you didn't hardly come off the field this past year. I guess you went both ways, and special teams too. What position did you play? Your offensive lineman on defense, Was you on the line as well?
Yes. Defensive tackle, defensive end, play the entire offensive line. Plenty of special teams.
I read about you last year. We mentioned you during the season. I think like Prep Extra Player of the Week for Oakdale. Players come in and get recognized. I remember calling your name out did you have any sacks last year?
I had a couple. Luckily against county rivals, made it a little bit better.
Right. I know last year y'all won just one game. It was over Red Bowen Springs, but playing a pretty tough region. Greenback and Coalfield, Oliver Springs, just some tough competition.
Certainly no pushovers.
What was the highlight of your season, or just your time at Oakdale?
The highlight of my time at Oakdale would be the people. They're special. Because like you said, the entire community is tight, and we're tight and close, and we'd fight for each other. Do whatever we have to for each other. And the common answer for my highlight of last season would be on a blocked punt. Getting my first touchdown.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. Actually,
No, one of my friends that came off the edge and hit the punter as he was going to punt it, and the ball just kind of popped up and found its way to my hands.
That's exciting. How many yards did you run it in?
About 30.
About 30.
It's always fun to see the big guys score. Being a former lineman myself.
Those are the best ones.
Right. It's always exciting. Coach Voles, how many seniors did you have this past season?
We had 6. Is that
6 or 7.
Yeah, six or seven. I can't remember without going through the whole list, but 6 or 7. But we had a lot of younger kids last year. We were fairly young in the skill position last season. We had more experience up front with Brandon and Hunter Howard, 2 guys that had took a ton of snaps for us on both sides of the ball on the line of scrimmage, and we do lose a couple of guys that have been key players for us. Avron Collins was another senior that had played a lot. Dakota Miller, Cameron Kofer. There was just several of them that have been around since they were freshmen and been there every year. And it's going to be hard to go on without those guys, but at the same time, we're excited about a lot of the youth that we seem to have. Off season has been a little bit different this year, but the numbers look to be increasing for us. We look like we're going to have more than we've had in the past few seasons as far as total numbers. But with that, you got a lot of youth coming too, and youth is a lot of fun, but it's also it can be a little frustrating for the coaches, just getting them up to speed on schemes and X's and O's and things of that nature. But there's a lot of good talent, a lot of young talent, and we're excited about the future with the Eagles.
Right. We mentioned for the break, Oakdale High School, the smallest public school in the state. How many total players did you have last season?
Last year we were right around that 20 number, 18 to 22, depending on an injury here or there. That was about what we would go into a game with. And the numbers have been a struggle the last few years just from an enrollment standpoint. Our student body has lost some enrollment. We've been kind of fluctuating in that 130 to 140 range for our high school enrollment. It's tough to field 45, 50 kids out, and when you've only got 65, 70 boys in the whole school. So, but we do look like we're having an uptick in numbers and the response. Before school was let out this past school year, we were getting closer to that 30 range with guys that were interested in playing. So, hopefully some excitement can build, and hopefully being away from each other for this extended time, maybe they'll be excited to get started Monday when we get back in our off-season program.
I know Oakdale had some playoff teams, I think, back in the mid part of this decade,
Yeah.
correct? And I know the 2018 team, sort of a trying season.
Yeah.
That year you had to sort of drop a few games there at the end, didn't have the numbers to continue playing.
Yeah, and that's what we've dealt with. The 18 and 19 season numbers have been an issue just from an enrollment standpoint. But you were coming off of 3 consecutive playoff berths. A lot of good talent come through the school there, and 14, 15, 16, some really good teams. Scored a lot of points, won a lot of games. Tons of kids playing at that time, and we were at that time 25 to 28 kids. And at the single A level, that's a good number. That's a really good number to have on a football team. And if you've got 25 kids in uniform, you're going to try to play 18 to 25. You're going to try to play most of those kids, especially at the 1A level. You have to. So numbers are always something that we know we're going to have an issue with, but even with that, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right. Most schools go up and down on number-wise, it seems, and just have your good years and your bad years.
Right.
But I just wanted to ask you about Morgan County schools. When are they going to open up as far as their facilities?
We had met over the last few days, and last week we met about the transition to reopening the facilities. Right now, as it stands, we'll open on June the 1st. Will be our first officially, back in the building, and then we're going to follow certain procedures and things, and we're following a lot of the recommended guidelines from the governor's office and CDC guidelines for social distancing and sanitation purposes and things like that. But they have put some of the constraints off of the numbers. They have allowed that to go up, so we can should be okay as far as having everybody together at the same time. But we look to get started, June 1st, and get back in the weight room and get on the field a little bit, running around, and 3-4 weeks, and then go into the dead period, and hopefully things will be back to normal a little bit.
All right, we're on with Oakdale head football coach J.R. Wolves and Brandon Bassler, who will be attending Maryville College in the fall on a football scholarship. And Coach, I just wanted to ask you, will you be able to, when y'all start back, is it just conditioning, or is it, will you be able to get the football out and throw it around? Or?
I mean, there's some things that you can do. I know some of the rules changed in the last few years as far as some of the things the players could do as far as on the field activities where they could actually get the football out and throw and do some things like that. We'll follow the rules on that kind of stuff, but it'll mainly be weight room and conditioning, and we'll have some classroom time with them, just with so many new kids and younger kids coming into the program this season. We'll need to spend some time doing some learning to begin with.
Right, there's a lot of teams like that, especially some teams have new coaches and putting them even further behind, not being able to implement their system. But you've been there 10 years, sure be pretty much steady going into.
As steady as we can make it, for sure.
The phone lines are open. Please give us a call if you have a question or comment. Brandon, are you planning on being there June 1st?
Definitely.
Going to come down and help out some of the former teammates?
Definitely. It'd be good to be back near that atmosphere. because honestly, after your playing days are over, you still think about it every day, and I think about it all the time. And I'd like to get back on the field and try to get in shape and stay in shape and get ready for Maryville.
Have you been, I guess you've been doing some training during this time, try to stay in shape?
About a month ago, the gym's opened back up, and I have been steadily in there and at parks just running around the house, try to get in shape.
Looks like we may have a call here. Let's go ahead. Go ahead, caller. You're on the locker room chat.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Brandon,
Hey,
he
Brandon.
said.
This is Greg Crawford. You remember me? I used to work with your dad.
Yeah, how you doing?
Greg
I'm
Crawford.
good. Congratulations on going to Maryville.
Hey, thank you, buddy.
I just talked to your dad a little while ago, and he's excited. I'm sure you are too.
Yep.
Yeah, Greg, looks like they're getting a fine young man there at Maryville College. It's a great school.
He's gotten a lot bigger since the last time I saw him a long time ago.
Yeah, that happens, especially to the best
Oh,
of
yeah.
us.
Well, good luck, buddy.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for calling in, Greg. And I know Greg way back as well.
But yeah, my dad was texting me earlier telling me to ask you about him.
That might be for off-the-air comments.
Yeah, we'll say that for later.
So who is the head football coach at Maryville College?
Sean Hayes.
Sean Hayes. You know how long he's been there?
No, I do not.
Did he come out and watch you play some this year? Do you know?
Not him personally, but my recruiting coach, he was heavily interested in me, and we've talked frequently. My recruiting coach really made the biggest case to Sean, and it kind of just fell in line. Things worked out perfectly. Their system, I love their system, and I fit in well there.
Now, is everything set up there at Maryville as far as the students? Do you know yet when you'll be able to get on campus?
As far as I know, the campus is still shut down, but voluntary workouts at Maryville begin June 1st.
Okay, so you'll be able to go over there as well. Correct. Okay. Brandon, did you play any other sports at Oakdale?
No other sports really interested me as football did. So that was my main focus, and I focused all my time and energy on getting better at that sport.
Coach Bulls, how many pancake blocks did he have?
He had quite a few, especially his junior and senior year. Obviously, he had time to develop. His body had matured physically and everything. And his junior and senior year, he was, he was a kid that we relied on, and short yardage stuff, down and distance situations. We knew where we were going with the ball, and I would say that the little fellas, the little skill guys, they would find 68 and try to hide behind him and dig out a few yards.
I'm sure you made some all-star teams, all district.
My sophomore year, I was second team all region, and then my junior and senior year, I made first team.
Okay, and also as well, I was going to ask you. I asked you about the other sports, right?
Yeah.
But just getting ready to go to Maryville College. Are you a offensive guard or tackle?
Tackle.
Play tackle, okay. Play the blind side?
Yes.
That's where he played for us. He could play any of the 5 positions. you know, with our numbers and things, we try to cross-train guys to play multiple positions, and you know, he definitely best fed at tackle for us. You know, and when schools would call and ask about him because they were interested in his length, his arm span, and things like that, you know, obviously at tackle, that's something that's beneficial to you if you've got the long arms and the long reach, and you know, so that's what Marable was really drawed them in, is seeing him on film and seeing the pass sets and stuff, because they throw the ball quite a bit, and they run something similar to what we do at Oakdale, and you know, I think that's what kind of got it started for him there, and they seen how he could fit, and his body is still maturing, and there's still room for growth there as well. So,
What type of offense do y'all run at Oakdale? Is it based on your personnel?
Yeah, in a certain way, you know, we'll have different years. We've done different things. But, you know, we like to spread it out, throw it around if we have the ability to, and you know, we've been under center and run wing tee stuff before, but for the most part, we like to be in a shotgun, no huddle, spread type of setup.
What can the Oakdale fans expect out of the Eagles this coming season?
Well, we hope we'll have a lot of excitement. You know, see a lot of new faces and you know, a lot of young, energetic talent. I definitely think there's, especially in that freshman, sophomore class, there's a lot of guys that had success at the middle school level and you know, are now getting to start their high school time and starting to be a key contributor there. And then we've got a pretty good, solid group of upperclassmen coming back. So we're excited about where we're at, and you know, really ready to get started and see what we can put together.
Do you have many eighth graders that play on the team, or it just depends?
Well, once the middle school season finishes, they have that opportunity. This past year, we had 4 or 5 that came up and finished the last couple of games dressed out, and you know, if the situation presents itself and we as coaches feel like they can protect themselves and are able to handle the high school level, we'll try to get them in there on a special team or something like that. And you know, we had a few 8th graders towards the end of the season last year that got on the field and not only played but actually, you know, made some catches and got some tackles and things like that. So you know, we're excited about the future. Absolutely.
Brandon, I think Coach Voiles, he said earlier, was you one of those 8th graders at Oakdale used to play a little bit?
I came up in 8th grade and was really just getting a feel for things, and didn't see the field. But it still, it gave me a peek through the window to see what I was about to get into.
Did he grow a lot over his 4 years?
Absolutely. You know, he was a bigger kid as a middle schooler, but he did continue to grow, and not so much vertically, but he got a little broader in the shoulders, and you know, gained some weight and got stronger. One of the stronger kids that we've had out there. The time I've been there, he's been one of the harder workers in the weight room, and it paid off, and it showed on the game field too.
Well, who was that big running back at Oliver Springs this year? Did you have any collisions with him? Trying to think of his name. He was a pretty good running back.
He was good
with the Bobcats.
Honestly, don't really remember them running to my side.
Well, they stayed away from you, didn't
That was a thing for a while.
How much are you bench press now?
Oh, I'm steadily closing in on 300.
That's great. It's really good. I tell you're a strong young man.
I try to be.
I'm sure I know the Oakdale community is really proud of you and your time at Oakdale, and earning a scholarship, and just everything you mean to the football program.
Absolutely.
All the younger players looking up to you, and that's great. What you're wanting to do in July. hopefully everybody can get together and all the young kids come out.
Yeah, Oakdale, it's a little different being a K through 12 school, and that's what he was wanting to do, have a signing ceremony in front of the entire school, because you've got, kindergartners all the way up to seniors that are in the same building, and it's pretty neat for those younger kids to see one of our students have that kind of next level success, and it's unfortunate wasn't able to do that, but it was something he was definitely wanting to do.
Mm-hmm. Did you start out at Oakdale in elementary?
I started Oakdale in kindergarten.
Okay, so you come all the way up through the school system.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's great. I know you bleed red.
Absolutely.
Well, Brandon, thank you for coming in tonight, being on the locker room chat, and also you, Coach Voles, are coming in. I really appreciate y'all coming in, taking the time to come down here, and
we appreciate you having us. Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Well, you're welcome, and just wanted to recognize you, Brandon, and Coach Voles, your football program.
Thank you.
Wanted to get y'all on last season, but it didn't happen. But I'm glad you was able to come on now. Maybe a little later this fall, have you back on.
Sure, absolutely, anytime.
Sounds good to me.
All right, you've been watching the Locker Room Chat, and the Maryville College signee, Brandon Basler, and his head coach, J.R. Voles, and we're going to take another break, and we'll be right back.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We'll buy it on the spot and we'll pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We'll treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Herman and Rockwood.
Tennessee Barnes & Buildings in Jacksboro has all your storage building needs. At Tennessee Barnes & Buildings, you can pick out your building, then custom design it how you want it, and then have it delivered. Our friendly staff will help you with all your design needs. Are you worried about financing? Well, at Tennessee Barnes & Buildings, there's no credit check, so no one is turned down. Plus, you can rent to own your own building. Tennessee Barnes & Buildings in Jacksboro says come on down for your next building. Or call 423-449-8139.
Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman knows safe and reliable transportation is essential right now. Whether you need service or to replace your current vehicle, we're ready to help. Our building is sanitized to keep our customers as safe as possible. Plus, we're offering pickup and delivery service during the crisis. Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman, Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Award for customer satisfaction. This month, all Outback, Forester, Ascent, Legacy, and Impreza models have available 0% financing with no payments for 90 days.
At OEB, we're committed to keeping you and your family safe. With the outbreak of the coronavirus, we understand you might be afraid to leave your house to get legal help. Now you don't have to. We can handle almost every aspect of your case electronically. Call 546-1111.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-thru for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
Welcome back to the locker room chat, and enjoyed that segment there with Oakdale head football coach J.R. Voles in his 10th season at Oakdale. He'll be his 11th season coming up, and also his student athlete Brandon Basler. So coming in good, Dylan. And right now, it's like I make a special announcement for this week's Classic OEB Law Game of the Week. It's Knox Central at Clinton. It's a game on September 24th, 2010. I'm trying to remember that game. I'm not sure which game that is, but it says it takes a goal line stand to win this game from 10 years ago. And be sure to tune in this weekend, Friday and Saturday night at 7 o'clock, right here on BBB TV 12. And, of course, you can watch online on our website, bbbtv12.com, our Facebook and Twitter page, and also YouTube channel. Or you can watch us on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire Stick devices by downloading the Boxcast channel and then looking for the BBB TV 12. So we've posted video directions on our Facebook page and posted them to the top of the page on how to do this, and we hope you enjoy these classic games and looking back at some of the games we've covered in the nearly 30 years of high school coverage here on BBB TV 12. So this Friday night, Knox Central at Clinton, so all Dragon fans can tune in. And that was Coach Andy Shattuck's last year at Clinton. And hopefully that's a victory for the Dragons that night. So we'll have to tune in and find out if they pulled it off. But right now, I'd like to take a look back at the decade in review. I came across this on a website, the Tennessee High School Football.com. That's TNHighSchoolFootball.com. Just go to that website. It has a lot of up-to-date information on high school football in the state of Tennessee, and they had a very interesting thing come out last couple of weeks. The editor there, Donovan Stewart, he's gone over all 342 high school teams in the state of Tennessee from Class A all the way up through 6A in the public division, and then you have three more classes in the private division. And Donovan Stewart has chronicled all the schools' records for the past decade. Now these records they have playoff appearances all the way to district and region championships, your overall record, winning percentage, and the rankings are based on overall records instead of winning percentage. So we're going to take a look at the Class A here tonight, and next week we're going to look at 2A. So we're going to do this all the way up through the high school season. Hopefully take a look at all the classifications. I thought it was pretty neat to look how some of our local teams did this past decade. We'll start off in Class A. There was 51 teams in the Class A division of high school football in Tennessee. And if you want to know who number 51 is, I'll tell you. It's the Bluff City Wolves. And they went 1-9 last year. It was their first year of existence. But I guess that's why they are number 51. Also, number 50 was the Memphis Business Academy Executives. So that's a good name right there. The Executives out of Memphis, they were number 50. So they was also in their first year of existence. Number 49 was a team that it's been playing for a while, so we'll look at them really as, probably the team that's on the bottom. That's the Pickett County Bobcats. So just throwing that in at them, not take a jab at them, but they're number 49. We'll work our way up to number 1 just on the local teams. Dylan, if you can, go back to the Oakdale. Your Oakdale Eagles just here in the studio moments ago with Coach Voles and looking at the Eagles, what they've done, and their overall record for the decade. They had 3 playoff appearances, as Coach Voles mentioned, 2014, 15, and 16. Unfortunately, did not win any playoff games. The region district record was 11-45. And no championships, no 10-win seasons, and they all 1A school. So Oakdale coming in at number 34 out of 51 teams, a little over on the back half of the rankings, but not too bad for the Eagles. And of course, again, had some good seasons there in the mid 2000 teens. All right, let's look see who we got next of our local teams. Number 27 had the Harriman Blue Devils coming in with a 45-63 record in the decade. Had 6 playoff appearances. Their last one coming last season. So 6 out of 10 years, the Blue Devils in the playoffs with the playoff record of 2-6. Their region and district record, 23-34. No district championships, no 10-win seasons, no state title game appearances. Their last state title back in the mid-90s, I think, with Copeland there for Harriman High School leading the way that in the 90s, and they played all the decade in Class 1A. So Harriman coming in at number 27, about middle of the pack in Class 1A. The Sunbright Tigers come in at number 23. As you can see, the overall record, 47-59. Had 4 playoff appearances. Their last one coming in 2014. They won 1 game in the playoffs in the last decade, and they had a 23-37 overall record in their region and district, and they're all single A schools. So Sunbright coming in at number 23, pretty good for the Tigers. So like I said, go to the next team. There's 51 Class A schools, and this survey was done by Donovan Stewart for Tennessee High School Football.com. Please visit that website and leave your comments there. For Donovan, has done a great job going back and getting all this historical information. I love looking at stuff like this. And coming in at number 21, you have the Midway Green Wave. Coach Treadway there at Midway. The overall record, 49-59 for the decade. They had 5 playoff appearances. Had back-to-back there in 17 and 18, and a playoff record of 3-5. Their decade region and district record of 17-40. And he did not win any championships, and they played all 10 years in Class 1A. So the Green Wave almost cracking the top 20. Moving on up in the polls, we have the Oliver Springs Bobcats coming off an outstanding season last year. Oliver Springs, as you look there at the bottom, they had played in 1A and 2A during the last decade. So anyway, Oliver Springs is number 15 overall with a above 500 record of 60-55. They had 2 playoff appearances in AA in 2010 and 11, and since they've been in Single A, they've added 3 more, and that's the last 3 years. So Oliver Springs have been in the playoffs the last 3 seasons, and they have a playoff record of 8-5, not too shabby for the Bobcats, with a district region record of 32-28. The Bobcats had one 10-win season that came last year. And actually, I think they won more than 10 maybe, I'm not sure, but at least had 10. And Oliver Springs Bobcats pretty respectable there in Class 1A, number 15 overall. Going up to number 4 in the state in Class 1A is the Cofield Yellow Jackets, coming in strong. Right there, the overall record 96-33 for 744 winning percentage. It's almost 100 wins in the decade for the Cofield Yellow Jackets. They have been in the playoffs. They were all in the playoffs all 10 years. 18-10 overall. Playoff record 50-10 in the decade, the region district record, and their number of region district championships. They had 3, 2010, 2011, 2013 in District 4A. And number of 10-win seasons, they had 6, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 17. So the 2014 team ended up runner-up in the state that year to Union City. So hats off to the Yellow Jackets. You look back at that 2014 season, you see there they did not win the district championship that year, but still made it to the state championship game in Cookeville 2014, where they were the runner-up. So an outstanding decade for the Cofield Yellow Jackets. We want to look now at the number 2 team in Class 1A is the Greenback Cherokees, and they've really been strong the last half of the decade. As you can see, winning district championships 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. The last 5 years, they won 106 games, 25 losses overall. Made the playoffs all 10 years with a playoff record of 22-9. They had 6 10-win seasons, 12, 15, and then the last 16, 17, 18, and 19, the last 4 years, they have won 10 games. They have 4 state title game appearances. And number 1, South Pittsburgh. They are actually had one more win than Greenback. Greenback's winning percentage is actually higher, but they base this on overall wins. So South Pittsburgh, number 1 in Class 1A. They have 3 state title game appearances. So congratulations to the South Pittsburgh Pirates. No surprise there. So I hope you enjoyed looking back at the decade in review. We'll have Class 2A next week, and we'd just like to thank Coach Voles and Brandon Bassler for being on the show tonight, and we hope you'll come back next week. You've been watching the Locker Room Chat.